arm day, fun day. Get right into it with some dips. Let's go. Shoulder's feeling a lot better. Not 100%, but much better. So today on the menu, our arm day menu, do 6 sets total, 6 supersets. 1 set for triceps, 1 set for biceps, general upper body as well, but focus on the arms. Set of dips, set of chin-ups for 3 rounds. Then we're gonna do a set of ring triceps extensions, and then something else, I don't even know what they're called, but it's a fun exercise. Not a beginner exercise, but pretty fun. But let's get going here. Set of chin-ups. And we're still sticking with 7 reps. Nothing too crazy on arm day. Just a nice, good, solid pump. Get the endorphins going as the usual. Let's roll. Okay. First round down. Nice and easy. Yeah, joints are still feeling a little creaky and groany, but that'll get better as we get things moving. Do a little bit of warm-ups, mobility, joint warm-ups between rounds. You know, it's really crazy. I mean, just totally out of control. There's so many people, they know they need to strength train, especially older, but they're too afraid. They don't want to try that hard because they're afraid of getting too big. Like they're just going to magically build all this muscle. That's almost as bad as the people who think as you get older, fat turns to muscle. It's impossible. As it's almost impossible to build too much muscle for 99.999% of most people. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Even if you wanted to try to build too much muscle, chances are it's not going to happen. But talk more about that after this set of dips. Yeah, folks, you're not going to build too much muscle. That is so freaking difficult. But so many people act like, oh, it'll just take a few weeks. I just lift some weights and I'm going to get huge. I'm going to look like Ronnie Coleman. Yeah, it's not going to happen, people. Most people could try to build too much muscle, dedicate a decade of their life, and their daily schedule will completely revolve around eating and training in the most scientifically optimal way possible. And still, after a decade, they're still not going to build too much muscle. You have to be a genetic freak that has dedicated their life to it, and to use special supplements along the way. think that's just people want some type of excuse to not have to really try or not have to really learn. They don't want to be a beginner. They don't want to go through that phase of, there you go, when you're first starting out, you don't want to know what you're doing. So they try to make these dumb excuses. I don't want to gain too much muscle. I don't want to get too big. Ugh. Especially if you're starting older. Like, if you're starting 40 plus, you can dedicate your life to it and it's still not going to happen. I mean, maybe there's a few people out there that could do it, but anyways, it's enough about that. Let's do this. Let's do these chin-ups. Yeah, because I was listening to this podcast. These people with the challenges of getting older, and it sounds like, you know, they're exercising, they're working on their balance, but it sounds to me like they're not doing nearly enough strength training. You know, they're in good shape. They're both in their 60s, in good shape, very good shape. But one guy's complaining about how his balance has gotten a lot worse. And I guarantee you he's not doing, he says he's doing stretching and strength training, but I kind of doubt he's doing it in a very effective manner. Go look up old guy hockey player, and you'll find a 94-year-old that still plays ice hockey. Okay, that guy's not afraid of losing his balance. But the guy does about a 20-minute calisthenics routine every morning. And it's basic. It's like some squats, push-ups, and sit-ups. Then he plays hockey. And probably eats pretty healthy. And that's what he does. That's his thing. And it keeps him extremely healthy. He walks great. He can, you know, hop and skip up down stairs. And when he gets on the ice, he just sits on the ledge, swings his legs over, hops down off the ledge, and off he goes into the game. Now, he plays old guy hockey. It's non-contact hockey. He's not in there doing body checks at, 95 years old. But still, he's 94 in his 90s, playing hockey. That's awesome. And this takes, I truly believe, it takes the kind of routines that are very similar to what I'm doing. All right, another set of dips. Alright, we're going to have to, well, I'm only going to have about one more workout in the truck, or full cycle, about 7 more days here. Then I'll be gone for a few months, then I'll be back in the truck. But, yeah, I mean, it's like my own goals. I don't try to build, the maximum amount of muscle, or get as strong as possible. I'm trying to stay in well-rounded, just good all-around physical condition. Stay athletic, stay strong, stay reasonably flexible, keep improving my balance, my mobility, my body awareness, or proprioception. That's my goal, and my goal is to keep that for as long as possible, as good as possible, well into old age. If I make it to 80, 90 years old, I want to be strong and healthy. I want to be one of those people worrying about falling down because they were afraid to really get in and exercise properly on a daily basis. Another set of chin-ups. All right. right, now we're going to switch to triceps extensions. And I don't even know what the next arm exercise we'll be doing after this. It's kind of like a front lever tuck bodyweight curl. But you'll see, it's kind of wild. Probably something you haven't seen before. But it's fun. That's the thing about bodyweight training. I think it's a lot more enjoyable overall than, you know, going to a gym. And I enjoy the gym. I miss being able to go to the gym. But with my current way of life, just not really practical, at least not for any real length of time. Eventually, if I decide to move permanently to Southeast Asia, access to a good gym will be top priority to determine where I move to. But that won't be for a while. I kind of like how I got life set up now. Be on the road for 8 or 9 months, then 3, maybe 4 months off. However long I can get away with. All right, let's do some triceps extensions. Yeah. If you hear that clicking, popping sound, it's my elbow. It doesn't hurt, just sounds funny. Let's lower these a little bit. Yeah, I mentioned it before, with bodyweight training, you got to just keep experimenting, keep changing things up a little bit. That's how you make progress. That's how you learn to get more and more out of each and every workout. Turn the air conditioning on. It's getting a little muggy. That was the only thing I really wanted to talk about. Just touch on the kind of the right mentality to have as you're training, as you try to, you know, get stronger as you get older. One of the most important things you can do. I really believe that. It just adds such a much higher quality of life, and as I like to say, a higher quality physical state of being, if I want to sound all new age spiritual about it. Anyways, all right, so these are called, I'm not sure what I'll call these, but they're kind of like it's in a front lever tuck position, and I just kind of curl my own body. I don't know how many I'm going to do. We'll see. But I'm up into, this is the down position. You kind of curl your body just like this. Okay, so that was 8 reps. It's not super hard on the biceps, but it's good enough. But you got to keep your whole body tight. Of course, lots of core activation, back. There's a lot of muscle involved, so it is a little tiring. But yeah, I wanted to give that a try this round. Haven't done these in a while. Just to mix things up. to move through these last 3 sets at a decent pace. Yeah, elbows are just clicking away on these. I don't know what that is, but I've always kind of had a. I've always had to be careful with my joints. That's something you got to learn too. If you're older, you want to work on your strength. That's why you got to do a lot of mobility, flexibility, joint preparation exercises, which I show as well. I'm trying to balance everything with like my pure strength workouts like I'm doing now, with my more gentle workouts that are more appropriate for beginners. But stuff I do all the time. And those last set of bodyweight curls did a number on the biceps. Sometimes you don't feel an exercise when you're doing it, but it's when you get done with it, you'll feel like 2 minutes later, especially when you're supersetting. And superset is just going like 2 exercises kind of back to back. Yeah, you gotta love that upper body arm pump you get from these kind of routines. Just feels so freaking good. It is, man. It's like a pick-me-up throughout the middle of the day. Saw this one funny kind of cartoon or a meme or something that had 2 people kind of fight each other. One was like training for looks or training for size and strength, and the other guy was training for aesthetics, so training for looks. Then a third guy came along and smacked them both and just said exercising for psychological well-being. And yeah, that's true. That's why I like to train every day. It's not always a hard training, and I think you can. I think in bodybuilding circles you'll often hear 3 to 4 times a week, which is good. It's definitely probably more ideal if you're just focused about building as much muscle as possible, because you need to go into workouts that are much more intense. But for general health and well-being, I think every day is just fine. If you need to skip a day for whatever reason, that's cool too, but we'll talk more about that after this next set of bodyweight curls. That's what we'll call it. Let's just call these bodyweight curls. That's kind of what you're doing, just curling the body. Yeah, 7 reps is good on that. Now, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, frequency. So, if you want to train every day, you just gotta monitor yourself. If you're feeling good, be a little more intense. If you're feeling a little worn out, a little sore, back off a little bit. Maybe just do some stretching and mobility. Go for a walk, something. But really, it's good to do something every day. The only time I really take a day off is if something really unusual happens. Like a couple weeks ago when I got caught in that snowstorm and New Mexico. You know, I was from 3 in the afternoon until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, just in stop and go traffic. So didn't hardly sleep at all that night. So when I got done that day, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to worry about training today. We'll just rest up and save for tomorrow. It's the same when I go flying on airplane trips. You know, Monday I got to fly home from Fargo. It's about 8 hours, but I'll probably just do a quick stretching, mobility, all around calisthenics routine that morning, like 10-15 minutes, and then I'll just continue the next day. So that's when I like to skip workouts, or skip working out for the day. Otherwise, yeah, every day. Alright, so last set of triceps extensions. Try from here. Alright. So yeah, you'll see me kind of varying things a little bit. Like sometimes I'll be up here, sometimes I'll be down here. And I'm just constantly trying to feel things out. Sometimes just moving your hips back or hips forward just a little bit can really change the dynamics. That's just part of the process. It's just repetition and experimentation. You learn the basics, and you're always looking to kind of get better at those basics, refine them, find different variations, a little bit different ranges of motions, how you hold your body. You know, it's just a continual evolutionary process. All right, one more set of, I'm gonna rest up a little bit before this last set, do a little bit of stretching, and that'll do it for the day. And I got about 250, 300 more miles to drive. Got to go through St. Louis. I'm about 90 miles west of St. Louis right now. Stop somewhere in Illinois for the night, or maybe Kentucky. We'll see. Heading down to Atlanta area for tomorrow night, so that'll be fun. Try to do our best to avoid the traffic, but it's Atlanta, so we'll see. Probably not. All right. Woo! Yeah, that was a pretty good pump. Oh man, I don't know if it's the difficulty of the exercise or just the fact that you got the blood in your body is just kind of going back and forth. A little bit of a head rush, but anyways, that's a sweet pump. Just so pumped up, yeah. Grew up in the 80s and 90s. You remember Hans and Franz from Saturday Night Live. All right. Just finishing stretches. This last one. Stretch the calves a little bit, just because we're here, might as well. And it's a good stretch to do. Stretch out the lower spine, hips, the hamstrings a little bit. Move the hips back and forth, forward and back. Just get a good spine stretch. Stretch the lats. And do the triceps real quick. A little more lats. Oh. Okay, yeah, that was a good one. I'll have to do that routine again. So, that'll do it. Till the next time.